Hello, photography student. Hopefully, you are doing awesome this Friday afternoon. And welcome to my first webinar. And this is about light. I know that we go over this on Monday, but I add some more material to this light. And then some of you kind of sleepy on Monday. So I thought that let's do it again. Okay, so you guys can have a better understanding, better knowledge about light. Thus, you will make a better picture. Okay, here we go. Light. Light, as you know, very, very important. This is the thing. This is the essence that we do photography. It is because of light. Now, photography, or sorry, camera doesn't know what it records. It does not know it records people. It does not know whether it's recording or capturing an animal or a building or a scenery. It does not know. What it knows, it's brightness, it's darkness, highlight and shadows. So we need to know how to manipulate, how to modify, and how to control light. So this is the class for today. Characteristic of light. Those are the 4 elements that we need to know. You need to memorize this, guys, because I'm hoping when you get this memorized into your head, I like you guys to be aware. Everywhere you go to the museum, you go to the party, you go to inside this lecture hall or your room, everywhere. You are in Yosemite, you are in Death Valley. You will be aware of what quality or characteristic of the light. So here are the 4. Number 1 is the source, of course. Second one, size and distance. Yes, there's the correlation between size and distance, so I will be talking size and distance at the same time. The third one is direction, and the last one is about color. So let's take a look at source. Source, you need to identify source when you are photographing something, First step, you need to look around. Where's the source coming from? Where's the light coming from? You need to identify that. Okay. For this purpose, I divide the source into 2 different categories. The difference between the 2 is T. No, it's not Terrence. It's time. It's time. The T for continuous. We're talking about continuous light here. For example, like sunlight, like our bulb, fluorescent, LED lights. Those are continuous light. The T on that, well, it could be 5 minutes. It could be 10 minutes. It could be 30 minutes. It could be 1 hour. It's continuous. Sunlight, however, it could be more. Right? It's 24 hours. Continuous also include reflection. It's reflection. So for example, if you go outside, you see the study hall, big wall there. It's reflecting the light from the sun. So that's also considered to be continuous light. We're talking about the T. If you go to your study, to your dorm, for example, you have a desk lamp. That's also a continuous light. As soon as you turn it on and then it's on, you can turn it on for 30 minutes or so or an hour. It's continuously providing light. All right. Now, in contrast, strobe, the time, the T, is a fraction of a second. Is 1,000th of a second, is 500th of a second. Some of them can go as fast as 15,000 of a second. Now this is really, really cool because you can do a lot of interesting stuff doing strobe. Take a look at this shot here. This shot, let me ask you a question first. How many clicks, how many shutter speed do I have to press on this one? Any guess? Yep, you got it. Only 1. This is only from one frame. So you click, and then the strobe will flashes 7 times. So you let the camera shutter open for just say 10 second or even 15 second, and then after that there will be a flash 7 times, pop 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 pop, 7 times. All right, so that's how you do the stroboscopic. All right, you can also do the same thing with this image. All right, same idea. Now the next one, this one is using the flash duration. Yeah, flash duration. Remember this word, flash duration. It might be on the quiz. Hint, hint, hint. Yes, the flash duration of this particular flash is 15,000 of a second. That's why the water that's being poured to this bottle is freeze. You can see all those droplets and also those sweeping image of that water you can see in this being poured into this bottle here. Very, very cool. How about that? How cool is that? You can freeze a speeding bullet. Again, the same idea as far as setting up. The camera will be, the shutter will be open for 5 seconds or so, and then the speeding bullet will be freeze by the flash, which is maybe around 15,000 of a second also. 15,000 of a second. So that's the T. That's the flash duration. Now, knowing this, you can do all kinds of stuff, all kinds of creative stuff. Hopefully you are inspired by these images, so you can probably do the same in one of the assignment. Okay? All right. Any question on that? Well, you cannot ask me, but you can email me. All right, the next one is about this size and distance. Size and distance, there's a correlation. The further you are, the size is going to be smaller, right? Relatively. If you go closer to the subject, the size will be bigger relatively to the object. All right? That's very easy. What's the point of this? It's about the shadow. It's about the shadow. It's between soft and hard shadow. If it's a big light, thus the distance is close to the object, it will create a soft shadow. I will tell you what a soft shadows look like and a hard shadow looks like. If it's a small light source, it will create a hard shadow. So small light, most likely is going to be distant light, further away from the subject. All right. So big light, closer, it will create soft shadow. Small light, further, it will create hard shadow. One example is the sun. We know that the sun is bigger than the earth, correct? But it is so far, 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 far away from the earth, it becomes a small light. And this small light, this small sun, will create a hard shadow. Okay, let's take a look at these images. Look at that. Look at the highlights and the shadow. It's very, very sharp. That's why it's called a hard shadow. All right, take a look on this one. Same thing. Look at the shadow. For portraiture or for weddings, you will. This is a no-no. You do not want to shoot a bride and groom in a bright sunny day, and you know the sun is creating. Even though sometimes it looks beautiful, but on the face it looks terrible. It looks horrible. So you have to look for a softer light. For example, like this. Now in outdoor, when it's cloudy, that is the same situation as a big light, because the cloud will diffuse, will make the sunlight to become very, very soft. All right. Just imagine this. If you are outside during the cloudy day, can you see your shadow? Kind of hard, right? So that's the idea. When you are shooting outside and you are shooting a portraiture, a person, cloudy day is the best time. Or in the shade, that's another option. For example, this particular shot here is a studio. You can look at the reflection in her eyes. you can see there's a big light next to her on her right. Okay, so it's creating a very soft light. And take a look at the shadow and the highlights. The shadow is very, very soft. Right? Take a look at this one. Again, harsh light or hard light versus soft light. Yeah, the light, the word light and shadow, I use it back and forth here. Sometimes I use shadow, sometimes I use light. Again, this is a hard light, just using the sun, and the one on the right is using it's probably underneath of something. Is she is on the in the shade. All right. This one is in the studio. You're using a big light. It creating very soft light. And remember, we also talk about that small light, small flash that we play around, and you can bounce it around. So even though it's small, when you bounce it to the wall, you bounce to the ceiling, it becomes a larger source. So that's how you soften the light, right? Any question on that? Email me or text me. All right. The next one is direction. Yes, direction. I guess this is pretty straightforward. Light has direction, so you can play around with direction. You can angle it, you can put it to the side of the camera, put it to the top of the camera, shooting down, shooting up, shooting 90 degrees, and things like that. So that's direction. All right. And what it does, it will enhance texture, it will enhance contrast. Here are some example here. A tree bark on the right side, the flash is right the same direction as the lens, and the picture on the left, the lens and the flash is from the different direction. So you put the flash to the side of the camera, so you will see the highlight and shadows. That's how you see texture. Okay, and these are other example about how to expose or to reveal texture. This is also another way to reveal texture, you know. So you will put the light to the left or to the right of the coin, not straight forward. Okay, and then this is also in portraiture. You can do the same. You can put the light angle to the side of his face, and creating this dramatic effect. You know, this is for theatrical headshot. A lot of people doing this type of headshot for movies, for Broadway show. So they want this type of theatrical shot. Yeah. Very, very dramatic. That's another shot. And then this is the last shot. Yeah, sometimes, you know, those shadow it doesn't really work well. For example, take a look at the woman's nose there, and then it's creating a funky shadow on her left side. So, and then another thing, she looks more muscular. But that's how you use a light where you put it on her side. So this is direction. That direction is really important here. The next one, color temperature. You already know color temperature. All source has color temperature. Whatever it is, it has color temperature, and you need to know the color temperature. Okay. The reason is you'll be able to add mood, adding mood to your image by understanding the color temperature. For example, this particular image here, you can see the warmth. So when you are trying to showcase a romantic room, a calming room, or a warm room, so you will use a warm light. kind of yellow and red. That's the dominant of this particular color. And also this one here, if you are being romantic, trying to shoot a romantic image, a warm image, this is or a festive image, or a Christmas image, this is the color that you are looking for. The color temperature will portray or will help you with mood. Take a look at this. Very calm, peaceful, warm, that you want to go there. This is warm, is also inviting color. All right. On the other side of that warm, there's also cold. Now, cold give you a different mood also. For example, if you want to portray high-tech, very modern, very clean, very sterile, then you will use kind of bluish color, white color, anything that close to blue. This is a biotechnical company. Then they use blue color as the primary color. Same thing. You're taking a picture of a high-tech, modern-looking house. So blue helps here. All right, this is the Kelvin scale of color temperature. You can take a look at this chart. So on the quiz, if I ask you, what is the noon daylight or direct sun Kelvin temperature or color temperature? Color temperature. This is in Kelvin scale. Okay. So for example, look that in the middle around 5,000 direct sun. So you will put 5,000 degree Kelvin. All right. If I ask you what is the color temperature of a candlelight, then you will put about 1,500 or 1,200 degree Kelvin. All right. So that's the scale that you can take a look. All right. Now that you have learned about source, about size and distance, about direction, and also about color temperature, now I'd like to teach you about light modifier. This modifier is mostly used in the studio, because in studio you are limited and then you want to shape the light in a way to enhance your subject. So there are all kinds of modifier, and the function for that modifier is to control light, to modify light, thus the word modifier, and also to manipulate light. Take a look at those modifier. There's a beauty dish, there's all kinds of umbrellas with a reflective surface, with more satin, and then there's a ring light, there's a softbox, etc., etc. So you can take a look at all these effects. If you're using umbrella, for example, the first one, you can see how soft that is, right? Now, if you're using ring light is pretty small light compared to the umbrella, but the thing is, with this ring light, you put the camera right in the middle of that ring. Can you see that? The ring light, the camera right in the middle. And if you see at the object, the shadow is actually pretty hard. But because the ring light is right in front of the subject, you cannot see that texture. It's kind of flat, actually. You cannot see the dimension of this image. But at one point, it was very, very popular. All people, or the fashion people, use ring light because it's just different, And then the next one, the third one on the on this image, it's called soft light. Soft box. Soft box that create soft light. You can see the difference between the umbrella and the soft box, because soft box usually the size could be 4 feet by 8 feet. It's pretty big. All right. And then the next one to the right, the last right, is called beauty dish. All right. I will give you more example on on the umbrellas actually right now. These are umbrellas with different material inside. The first one is with a reflective material. The middle one is with a satin. And the third one on the very right is umbrella, and then they put some material over it. And you can see the difference between all these umbrellas, and then you can see the highlight and shadows. Okay, which one do you think is the softest? Okay, take a look at it. Study them. Which one is the softest? Okay, next is a beauty dish. All right, beauty dish. They also have different sizes. I have mine 18 inches across in diameter. There is a 24 inches, and then there's a 28 inches in diameter. So depending on what kind of shot that you wanna have, what kind of look that you wanna create, one of them is using beauty dish. Or if you want to make it more harsh, bowl reflector makes it a little bit harsh, and then depending on the distance, it will make it bigger or smaller in comparison to the object. You know, further away it's gonna be small, closer to this object it's gonna be bigger. Thus, it will create a little bit softer image. The next one, again, this is about the ring flash. It's a little bit a closer image on this one. Hopefully you can see the camera right in the middle there, and then you shoot the object. This is creating a very flat image. Almost no dimension on this using flash. This is the softbox. Very soft. Take a look at the shadow there and the highlight. Very soft. And then this is another type of softbox, but it's long. It's called a strip box. So it's also give an interesting look. All right. Okay. Now that you know all kinds of the modifier, and then you know about the characteristic of the light, and then that's the most important thing that I want you to memorize. Understand. Memorize this four characteristic of the light. Okay, so hopefully you're almost done with your quiz, and then I also have assignment. This is the weekend assignment for Monday. You need to submit this on Monday. You will only use your iPhone on this one, and then make sure you upload it to the Google. All right, upload it to Google before the class on Monday. So this is the assignment, weekend assignment. Look for really cool direction of light source. Okay, you concentrate on the direction. Source, of course, that one too, you know. But right now, I like you to see what kind of image that created by direction of the light. That's really cool. All right. The second one, look for really awesome reflection of light. Reflection could be on the wall, could be on the car because it's a reflective, all kinds of reflection. It could be from a very glossy surface. It could be from a coarse or rough surface, but see something that's really awesome from the reflection of it. All right. The next one, look for a really wonderful, colorful light source. For example, this image on the right, take a look at the color. That is sunset, and then it's creating all kinds of color. That's such a beautiful image. Okay, so you're gonna use your iPhone, and I want you to shoot as much as possible. Now you will shoot in the dorm, you will shoot in the study hall, or maybe in the kitchen area, in the dining hall, whatever you are, and try to be aware of the direction, about reflection, about the color, about the source of the light. Okay, so I like you guys to shoot as much as possible, but interesting. I want it cool, I want it awesome, I want it wonderful, um, images. Okay, that's it. I will see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.